We pass Dundrennan Abbey some 6.5 miles before Kirkcudbright, founded in the 12th century by King David, where Mary Queen of Scots spent her last night in Scotland. King James II created Kirkcudbright a royal borough in 1455, and the annual riding of the marches reenacts the time when the King's messenger, known as the Pursuivant, carrying the charter, was met by the town's cornet, who together rode round the boundaries of the borough. This is an ancient port located on the estuary of the River Dee. The harbour is dominated by MacLellan's castle, built in 1577, using the stone from the ruined monastery by the then provost, Sir Thomas MacLellan. Around this time, a famous pirate, Leonard Robertson, who was also Burgess of Kirkcudbright, was so prolific in the area that Queen Elizabeth I of England even complained to King James VI of Scotland. The king set up a commission of the local lairds, who built the castle, a little ironic perhaps, as they had all benefited greatly from this illegal trade. This picturesque town has been popular with artists for generations, the most famous being one of the Glasgow boys, E.A. Hornell, who lived at Broughton House on High Street, now a National Trust property, complete with many of his paintings and a Japanese garden planted by him. The earlier 17th century Tolbooth and many of the other buildings have an air of grandeur about them, no doubt associated with the town's role as the capital of the Stewartry. A short distance out of town, near the rocky gorge of the Dee, is the pretty site of Tongland Abbey, whose most famous abbot was John Damien Dunbar, the feignant friar. He attempted to fly, throwing himself off from the battlements of Stirling Castle in front of a young King James IV. The abbot remarkably survived and explained his failure on the fact that the wings had been constructed from the feathers of hens, which themselves could not fly. An earlier abbot was murdered at the altar here in 1235 by Scottish forces after the Galloway Revolt.